Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we're going to be talking about the green Legends Limited Evo Ken, Goku and Vegeta. Now we're going to be entirely honest with you, I only just got these guys. That should say a lot, about where my experience with getting these guys has been. Because these guys are old. They are very old units. They are not distinctively new units. So the thing is, for me, immediately I understand that they may not look as impressive as they did upon release. They haven't received a plat or anything. They haven't gotten a huge boost recently. So it isn't a question of oh, I'm looking at them because of a plat, or I'm looking at them because of this. I'm looking at them because they, for the first time ever, are inside of my box in DB Legends. So it's something I think players have to deal with all the time. Getting into all the Legends Limited characters, especially new players. Are they good? Are they great? Now I will say one thing, I do think these guys are not in a terrible space right now. A lot of greens, even older ones, are finding some usability to a certain extent because of the changeover with blue UI Goku kind of dominating the field. Yes, there is purple Vegeta, who is obviously going to be a problem for certain people, but overall I think blue UI Goku is definitely the kind of top end of the spectrum, and there's so many of him, and there's also blue Daima Goku, so having greens is not the end of the world. Now in terms of the kind of base functionality that they have, they tag switch to Goku. They're a reverse element unit, so Vegeta is the counter to green, which is great, gives them good coverage within themselves. They will shorten their own substitution timer count every time that they switch, restore their own health, or get 10 plus to health restoration effects, nullify attribute downgrades, abnormal conditions, etc. When they switch, based on their health remaining, they'll restore health and restore ki. So if they're below 50%, if they're 50% or more, they'll restore health, ki, etc. If they are below 50%, they restore 20% health, so double the health and even more ki. So that's cool, that's always something great, nice to have. In terms of their unique ability, so while in Goku form, obviously 100% damage inflicted, which nowadays does not look like a lot at all, and that's because it's not. So it is one of those things, unfortunately. And on top of that as well, 20% to special move damage, and then reduces damage by 70% and increase art card draw speed by 1. Following effects occur when they enter the battlefield, so restoration of own ki, 70% to damage inflicted, 40% to own ki recovery, and inflict all enemies with an attribute downgrade, which obviously is pretty good. Then on top of that, when their own health remaining is 70% or below, when switching in, draw a special arts card, nullify unfavorable element factors, which is good, very useful. On top of that as well, seal enemies rising rush and seal all enemies main abilities, which is also good. So immediately we have some really nice stuff. The following effects will occur if ki is 30 or lower when they use an art card. They restore their own ki by 20 once, activate Shin count resets when they switch, shorten ally substitution timer count by 3, and their activation timer count will also switch when they switch. Their final passive is they knock the enemy back to long range. They will slightly charge their own unique gauge. When the unique gauge is full, it resets to 0 and applies the following effects to themselves. So they will have plus 20% to damage inflicted. They will get plus 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. They will get plus 50% to unique gauge. Then they will nullify enemy special action cover change. When the following effects, when they use a strike or blast card, reduce ki by 5 and minus 5% to enemy's blast power, strike power, etc. And then on top of that, the following effects will occur when they land a strike or blast arts hit. Restore own health by 5%, charge own unique gauge by 50%, 10% to special move damage, minus 5 to special move costs, restoration of own vanishing gauge by 100%, and reducing enemy Dragon Balls by 1. Their green card restores their own health by 10%, 20% damage inflicted, 15% blast damage inflicted. They will also apply the following effects to the number of, or to themselves, based on the number of times that the card has been activated. So the number of times the green has been activated. So they will restore their own key by 100 on the first time. They will restore 3 newer cards when they switch over. They will nullify enemy special action cover change. They will nullify enemy destroy card effects. All really good. Second time activated, they'll only get 60 key. Third time they only get 40 key, etc. Blue card plus 30% to special damage inflicted and charge unique gauge or switch gauge by 20%. Pretty good. When you switch into Goku, or when you switch into Goku, obviously, they do switch. So they switch their element factors. Most of the kit pretty much remains the same. Honestly, there's a very minimal difference between the kits that they have. So it's a very, very, very minimal difference that they get. Some extra key recovery once you switch to Goku or Vegeta for the first time, which obviously helps, is great, all that stuff, really good. Then on top of that, they restore their own key by 20, which is also fine. And then on top of that as well, you do have that slightly different cover change mechanics, so that's also great. All in all, pretty decent, pretty standard stuff. I will say they are a combo unit. So for anyone who doesn't know how to use units, they are a combo unit, they are an assault unit. They are designed to keep attacking the enemy to the point where the enemy will essentially combo out. So they're not designed to alleviate or do big damage in singular blows or give utility. They're designed to combo. So you want to combo them, key combo, blast attack combo. There's a lot of stuff you need to actually do for them. Then, functionally speaking, in terms of everything else, look, like I say right now, they're a little bit old. So they're not bad. They're not bad at all. When I say they're a little bit older, they're not a bad unit. They're not unusable, anything like that. They are a very good, strong unit. They have a good, strong presence. They are usable. They give a lot of damage once they get going. But I think getting going is the problem. They lack a little bit of health, a little bit of defensive mechanics that units currently need in the current climate. A lot of units now just straight up rip you. If you don't have endurance, if you don't have some kind of defensive mechanic, then you would just get ripped. It's not a question of when or if or why or how. It's just a question of you are. So you are going to just get ripped. You're not going to be able to do too much. There's not a lot of control that you have. You don't have different levels or varying levels of control that you can apply and get kind of growth back in. You are going to be ripped to shreds. But it's okay. They can still do decent damage once they get going. One thing I will say, they still do have that ability to apply some really, really, really strong pressure. And with blues being very popular right now, of course they have that extra layer of usability. With that being said, that doesn't absolve them of the problems that they have. So it's not to say that they have no issues, they're fine because they're green, because blues are popular, they are a great unit. They need a bit. I hope they get a plat this equipment run. I am hoping they get a plat specifically for them. They don't have a unique plat yet, I don't think. So I don't think they have a specific unique or anything like that. So they can, struggle a little bit, and they do probably need one. They need a plat at the very least. They need stats. They need something to kind of kick them off. And at this point in time, they just don't have that, which I think, when you look at them and you look at how they function, you look at everything like that, when you don't have those type of things, I think you can struggle. Again, it doesn't mean that they are not good. They are still a solid unit, although they lack defensive mechanisms. They can get blown up. they're not bad for starters who need a green to deal with some blues. Are they going to absolutely decimate every blue that your opponent has? Probably not. Will you be able to use them at a lower level? Definitely. They're still not completely phased out. They're not irrelevant. They don't have no impact. Like when they meet a blue, it's not like they do absolutely 0 damage and can't exist. And having a reverse tag unit always has its uses. Like when you have a reverse tag unit, it helps you with team planning, with countering units, with dealing with units. And so there is a lot of merit, I think personally for me, in having a counter unit. Like I said, whenever I look at counter units, reverse tag units, they come in handy because they give you something that other units really can't. Tag units always give you a second typing. Generally speaking, they give you a second typing. So by having a reverse tag unit or any tag unit in your team, you give yourself more options to deal with what other players throw at you. And that's always the case, even if they don't necessarily come out being as dominant as one might think. But with that being said, I do think they do a great job. I think they are really solid. And yeah, I think they're decent. That's it for me. Bye.